31 reigns, Baszler has 38 million views.
Yes, you are listening to Off the Top with Charles and Shadow.
Hey guys, what's going on? Scows here. Welcome to Off the Top. I am joined by my partner in crime, Shadow, who is next to me. And we have two very
What's up, guys?
special guests tonight. We have Megan Nicole from TikTok, and we have Nate from the Wrestle Bros on TikTok. What's going on, guys?
Hello.
How's it going, man?
Pretty good, pretty good. Shadow, you ready for this?
Oh yeah, it's gonna be a. I'm excited. It's like WrestleMania season again.
Yeah, this pay-per-view definitely feels like it is WrestleMania. The way they've built it up and how they're going all out for it. I'm so excited for this. Like, I feel like this is probably the second level pay-per-view for this year. Like, there's WrestleMania and then this one.
100%.
How do you guys feel about that?
I agree.
I definitely see that vibe too from it, especially the last few weeks. The build to it has been just incredible.
Have you guys seen the pictures of the set that's been going around?
I haven't. I've been trying to avoid that.
It's hard. It's hard to avoid because even when you're on Twitter, just people retweet it and that you're not even following, and just you see it. It's like, it looks pretty cool though, from what I've seen so far. I'm gonna try and avoid Twitter the next day and a half. It's kind of hard though because I like trolling people from AEW on it.
Yeah.
But which match do we want to start off with tonight? Megan, you could choose which one we want to start off with.
Let's start off with the Dakota Kai Bailey versus Asuka, Alexa, and Bianca match.
Okay. You want to give your thoughts on it and what you think's going to happen?
Oh, on the spot, jeez. Honestly, it's a good build-up. I would want Becky to be in it, but considering she got her arm injured, I understand. But I see Bailey and Dakota and Io winning this match.
Yeah, I definitely feel that it would have been an entirely different setup if Becky did not get hurt at SummerSlam. So it is kind of disappointing to see that. But I am excited that they brought back Dakota Kai and Io Sky. Well, Io Shirai, now Io Sky. That's actually one of the name changes that fits.
You guys got it wrong. It's Dakota Sky.
Dakota Sky, that's right. And then she made fun of all the fans that laughed at her.
Right. So sorry. Go ahead.
Nope, go ahead. You can go, Nate.
Oh, I was just gonna say, I really like the build up to this match. I'm a little disappointed that Dakota and Io didn't win the tag title tournament heading into this, but I'm starting to have faith in WWE's booking that there's a bigger plan in place for it. I do think this is, if they're going by Damage Control officially or not, I do think this is their match to lose. They're not. I don't think they walk out of this with a loss. I think they win pretty handily.
Yeah, it's a different way of them booking, but I think that they didn't have them win because they didn't want that focus to be on this match.
Right.
And I was shocked, to say the least. I think the entire world was shocked when Raquel and Aaliyah won, especially considering Aaliyah was part of the team.
Yeah, well, that's another story. For me, I think it's going to be Control or Damage Control, whatever they're going by.
Right.
Just because they're the hottest thing going. I don't understand the loss before the pay-per-view, but I would have preferred to have seen it a winner-take-all kind of situation, and have Bianca drop that belt to Bayley.
Right.
Bayley's had one match since she returned, though.
Yeah, but that's fine. You gave Becky a match on her return.
That is
So,
true. It
for the
did only
belt.
last 26 seconds, so you're gonna do that to Bianca again.
Well, you and Bianca have that in common. You only last 26 seconds. So I digress. I'm just playing. But yeah, no, I'm gonna go with damage control.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go with them as well. The heels are gonna win. They lost on Monday to lead up to them winning. They took the belts all away from them to not focus on it. I feel, and I think that we're gonna see something big come from this because the way that they lost with Dakota not even being the legal contender, it's gonna be built to something. I'm surprised they haven't done anything with that yet. So, what were we 3-1 on that? Megan was. Were you going with them as well, or did you pick?
Yeah.
Okay,
I think everyone picked
so
for
we all,
damage.
so we all picked damage control on that. I feel
Yep.
like they are great for the women's division. It's gonna make it better. I just wish they would do something with SmackDown with the women's division because I feel like that's lackluster compared to Raw right now.
Raw's women's division is stacked. If the return of Sasha and Naomi actually happens, they need to go right to SmackDown.
Yeah, but they're gonna go to Raw first because they're gonna take those belts. Because you're gonna have a rematch. Damage Control is gonna take the belts, and then you're gonna see Sasha and Naomi show up and challenge them.
Luckily, those
I
belts
don't,
are brands.
I don't think they need Sasha and Naomi to show up and challenge for belts. They don't even need them back in general at the moment.
But but they're not gonna. They're gonna come back and say we never lost them. And
Yeah,
gonna,
but in my opinion, you don't need Sasha in the tag division. There's no need for it.
I know, but
She's
that
too
was the
good.
whole. That
No,
was the whole reason that they stepped away.
I understand that, but she's too good to be in that position.
Oh, absolutely. Dakota and Io are too good to be in that position, but you got to have tag teams someplace if you're gonna have them belts. The best thing to do would have been to get rid of those belts and just have the belts go across all three brands,
Mm-hmm.
which is what they were intended to do until Vince screwed it all up. All right, so we got that match. The next match that I'm excited about, like this is probably my top 1 to 2 match on the card, is the Intercontinental Championship with Gunther versus Sheamus. I think if they are given the proper time, they can tear the house down. Like, that crowd is going to go nuts for them. I think we might see a new champion this week.
Really?
I think Sheamus might win.
Hmm.
Just because isn't that the only one he's missing
For the Grand Slam,
for the
yeah.
Grand Slam? So I think he wins it, and it's easier to get the belt off of him by anybody else than it is for Gunther. And I think
Right.
that's why it happens.
And one of the thing is, they're definitely presenting Sheamus, despite him being in this heel stable that he's in, they're presenting him as the babyface in this feud. And like I was at SmackDown last Friday in Detroit.
Nice. So you got to
and
see both. That's right. I remember you saying that.
it didn't come across. So like it didn't come across on TV that Sheamus got any kind of a pop whatsoever. But in that crowd that I was sitting in, it was deafening. He got a huge pop when his music hit on Friday night.
Yeah, I just the only thing I'm scared about is Butch.
You mean Pete Dunne?
Well, that's why, because he's going back home, and Pete Dunne might come out and cost Sheamus the belt. That's the only thing that I would be concerned about.
I'd be okay with that.
Somebody, I think it was Santi from Straight Shoot, actually said that he would like to see a full-on reunion of Imperium to help Gunther win the match.
Ooh, that's very possible considering they are in the UK.
Mm-hmm.
Did Vini Vici travel over there?
No idea.
I actually like his character as NXT as that. He's actually pretty
Right.
good.
I have no idea what Alex Wolf is up to.
But
I guess there's no way to go back to Walter from Gunther. You could hope, but I don't think it would make a lot of sense now. At least with Pete Dunne, you could just say it was a nickname that they called him.
Well, that's when they introduced him. They said we know him as Butch. They didn't say that that was his name. They said that's what we call him. Like that's his nickname to us. So
Right.
I liked how they did that. At least it wasn't like a permanent name change to where he'd be screwed.
Right.
What's your thoughts on it, Megan?
Honestly, I can see Sheamus winning it just because he is close to home. But either way, Sheamus is going to win it no matter what.
It's not the worst thing. Sheamus has been a workhorse, right? So to have him hold the belt is not the end of the world, and it doesn't hurt anybody, and it could start a great feud.
Right.
Yeah, I feel that it's easier to get the belt off of him with anybody else in the division than it is with Gunther, because
And
the only way to get it really off of Gunther is you're gonna have somebody interfere and cause a distraction, and it's gonna look cheap.
right. And I mean, Sheamus is, very low key the last 2 years has been putting on incredible matches just about every time he steps in the ring.
Him and Drew, like every
Dude,
time,
I can watch those two fight forever.
it's just they just have those matches. Like the chemistry is just amazing.
Mm-hmm.
So we had what 2-2 on that one.
Yeah.
All right, Shadow, what match you want to cover?
Let's cover. Ooh, interesting. Oh man, I don't remember the whole card right now.
So we have the match that was just announced on Monday: the Edge and Rey Mysterio versus Judgment Day. You also have the SmackDown Women's Championship, which is Liv Morgan versus Shayna Baszler. Then you have
I'll go-
obviously the Undisputed Championship. And
Let's
then-
go Let's go with the tag team match that was presented. Even though, and a shout out to Unicorn Goth on TikTok, she pointed it out first, and it's been covered by many people. She noticed the advertisements in the UK before anybody else did. But it wasn't.
Didn't they advertise Beth though on those?
No, they advertised Dominic.
Oh, they advertised Dominic. Okay. So
So-
something had changed since then. So that's good to know.
Yeah. So, with my thoughts on that is, I feel like the match itself should be good with all parties involved, but I feel like there's going to be a major turn when it comes to Dominic, and I feel like he's not going to join Judgment Day. He's going to pop that "Oh, I'm a Guerrero" thing out, and we're going to see that go forward a little bit.
Well, is that why he's been growing the mullet out?
I think so. I feel like he's going to say he's embarrassed to be a Mysterio. He
Oof.
knows that he's a Guerrero.
Yeah, he's definitely like he's starting to look like Eddie more and more with that hair.
Yeah.
It's ironic, isn't it, though?
It's like
That
It's just-
that would be WWE's longest storytelling of it all, right there. An 18-year storytelling, or excuse me, 16-year storytelling.
I can't argue with you on this. I feel that we are going to see Dominic turn, and I think I think it would be ironic if him and Rhea just went together and just left everybody.
I see Beth getting involved, and so like with those, the three people from Judgment Day and the three people on the opposite side who get involved, Dominic's the odd man out.
Mhm.
He's not in the match. He can't fight Rhea Ripley because they don't want to do the intergender thing. Dominic, I think, costs them the match and aligns with Judgment Day, and I think that'd be the most interesting thing for him right now.
I think the most interesting thing would be for him to go back to NXT and actually get reps and practice.
He didn't even go to NXT to begin with.
Well, that's why like he would actually be able to
I-
get matches, single matches, and actually improve and refine it. I don't
I'm
think he's
not
just getting enough
sure.
time right now.
I'm not sure a lot of people are aware of the fact that Dominic is trained by Jay Lethal.
No, I was not aware of that.
Mm-mm.
If you watch Rey Mysterio's A&E special there from last Sunday, there's footage of Dominic training with Jay Lethal.
Oh yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So I not. So it's very interesting. Maybe that's where he's learning his style. I mean, Lethal's not the greatest in-ring competitor either, though. So
No, but if he could learn how to do a promo from Lethal, he's made. Because Lethal's one of the best in the business for that.
Megan, I know we've talked about this before, but what's your take on this whole scenario?
I can see Dom finally turning on Ray. I mean, like, I've said this since like the beginning when they first lost the titles, tag titles, that somehow Dom would turn on Ray and say that he is Eddie's son and just somehow throw that in there. Like, I've always imagined that happening. So come Saturday, I can agree, I can see that happening. And that Judgment Day will win.
I think that I think we all agree that Dom's gonna turn. It's been a long time coming. It's something that probably is overdue. Like it should have happened last pay-per-view. I feel.
I think with the turn coming though, it opens the door for Ray to retire and have his last match be against Dominic
Where he loses his mask, and he passes
and
the
hands
mask,
on the mask.
and he hands the mask down.
I think it's time that they start. I mean, again, going back to the A&E documentary with Ray, he knows he's on not borrowed time, but he's literally doing stem cells and stuff right now. He knows he's not going much longer.
And then we'll see Rey Mysterio from WCW without the mask.
So Lucha tradition to pass it on, right?
Yeah, not many people remember seeing him without the mask in WCW and early WWE before he won it back.
Yeah, he did it for like 2 years, just about, didn't he?
Yeah, it was for a long time. I was surprised he actually still wrestled without it, because I know he does hold the tradition in the highest regards.
Like, hate to go back to this, but the A&E documentary, Ray wasn't even sure he wanted to go to WWE with the mask because once the mask is off,
Right.
it's off.
That's the whole thing. Once it's off, that's it. Like, that's why those mask versus mask matches don't happen that often, because people don't want to give it up.
That's Eric Bischoff booking.
Yeah, that's what we were just saying, Man Jam, that he thought he was going to be maskless with them, and they were just going to let him go because they didn't want that.
Yep.
What match you want to go over? I'm going to give you a choice, Nate.
So I think we should save the main event match for last, because that one probably has to unpack. So that leaves Shayna versus Liv, right?
And the one that Shadow interrupted me from speaking about before.
Which is
Riddle versus Rollins.
aha.
Oh.
Let's tackle Riddle versus Rollins.
Yeah, you wanted. Oh, this is Megan's wheelhouse now.
Mine too, man. This is why you know why I'm here, all right? This is why I'm here.
Yeah, you guys are cousins, right?
Basically, I don't know. Apparently, Matt Riddle's into a whole bunch of stuff, but that's neither here nor there.
Hey, to each their own, right?
Right? We don't shame around here, but anyways, if I could just speak on that for just a second, though, I love the whole. I talked to Shadow and Megan about this a little bit. It's basically at this point, this feud is Peter Griffin and the Giant Chicken from Family Guy.
Yeah.
They see each other, they lock eyes, and it's on sight, man. They just go right at it, and I love it. Literally, they plant a fan in their line to get into the building to videotape them fighting in the parking lot because Triple H has a parking lot fetish.
He made the call up from NXT.
Yes, he did.
The biggest call up.
The most dangerous place in NXT.
The parking lot is more dangerous than the top of Hell in a Cell.
Yeah.
And so Riddle and Rollins, like, as much as this feud has kind of lit Rollins on fire, and Riddle on fire both, I think this is Seth's match, actually. I think this is where Seth gets back on track, shows that he's still that guy. Riddle can afford the loss. Rollins hasn't won on pay-per-view in, what, over a year?
It's
Almost.
it's a
Yeah.
long time.
So I got to
Megan's
go.
looking at her stats.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely. This is not the end of the feud.
No.
They're gonna have at least one more match, and I think they actually only might have one more match, and it will end 1-1. I don't think they're gonna have a winner in this feud because I think it's gonna drag out, and it just won't happen soon. So I think that we are gonna see Seth Rollins win here, and then go on to Extreme Rules, and that's where the next match will take place.
Probably
but-
an Extreme Rules match.
Yeah, it's gonna be either a no DQ, Extreme Rules, something along those lines. I think that promo on Monday night was just straight fire. Like
Oh yeah.
the last time that happened in WWE, I was still in high school. Like I don't remember any of that being recently with those promos like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's just
And
insane.
Remember when they canceled Riddle versus Rollins at SummerSlam? We were all upset about it. We're like, why didn't we get this match? We were excited for this match. Now we just get this brawl. And right now, we're more excited for the match than we were at SummerSlam. I'm hyped for this match.
Yeah, Triple H made a
He
smart
knows what he's
move.
doing.
He made a smart move doing that. Because we only have 6 matches on this card. So
These-
know each match is going to get its time.
Right.
So I'll say my piece, and then we'll hand it over to Megan here. The storyline is so blurring of lines. You don't know what's reality and what's scripted at this point.
Mm-hmm.
And that is good storytelling. Because if Monday was a script or whatever, or it was literally Rollins straight shooting on Riddle, I couldn't tell.
Yeah, and that's when pro wrestling's at its best, is when it blurs those lines. Megan?
This whole entire feud, like it just, I know some of it has to be personal because I remember, like I think 2 years ago at Survivor Series, Seth said he never wanted to be in a feud with Riddle because Riddle's ex-wife was saying crap about Becky. And I just know that somehow backstage, like this was a script, but now I think it's actually legit with everything that came out about Riddle.
Oh, I'm
If
sorry.
you
What came out about Riddle, Megan? Please share with the class.
That's how you get banned from TikTok.
And Twitch.
Yep.
Yeah, so I'd rather not. If you know, you know. If you don't, go do some investigating yourself.
Yeah, just go look for his ex who turned her entire Twitter account into a Riddle bashing page.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
She went away for a year and came back, and that's all it is now.
Oh my god, I don't know.
It also should be noted she is a former OnlyFans girl, or is still an OnlyFans girl.
Her subs are probably down, so she's trying to get more.
That's probably it, honestly. And I also think that while this might be blurring the lines of reality a little bit, you know, in kayfabe, I do think that anything that they said, they ran by each other first.
Yeah, it had to be, because I don't think Riddle would have wanted any of that to come out if he wasn't okay with it.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's just so ironic that those posts on Twitter came out as soon as this promo hit.
Like minutes.
Yeah, like, oh, I'm waiting. Like she had him in drafts, ready to send as soon as something was said.
Mm-hmm. And what did it accomplish? Oh, we know Riddle's just a weird guy. Yep. I think we already knew that.
Most of us already knew that, just not to
Right.
that extent.
So, what's your thought? Who do you think is going to win, Megan?
Rollins, hands down.
So it's all 4 of us going with Rollins?
Bro. Yes.
Nope.
Matt.
No,
Rollins.
you're going with Riddle. You think Riddle's winning, Shadow?
I do.
Ooh.
So
What?
you think he's going to be leading 1-0 going into Extreme Rules?
I do, because then it opens the door for Seth to go absolutely savage at Extreme Rules.
Yeah, I don't think Seth needs that to do that. I think just bringing Becky into it.
So I guess the last question about this match is, because this is a match that we could talk about all night if we wanted to. Does Rollins do anything in his entrance or during the match that is very akin to, the Dusty Rhodes polka dot outfit or the Shield entrance that he pulled earlier this year?
Oh, he always does something like that. But
Maybe he pokes fun at the UFC career of Matt Riddle's.
yeah, that wasn't that long. But
Does he come out on a scooter? Something like that?
Oh God, yes.
what does he get? Like one of those little Vespas, and ride it down to the ring.
Or he comes out to Randy Orton's theme.
I thought that too.
He might do something like that. I mean, they are saying that there are going to be quite a few big entrances at this show.
I'm here for it. I don't want to wait till Sunday or Saturday. I just want it now.
I'm glad it's only on Saturday and not Sunday, because that's an extra day I wouldn't want to wait.
Picture this. Riddle's in the ring. He's just made his entrance. Randy Orton's music hits. Seth Rollins RKO's Riddle from behind out of nowhere. Match over.
That'd be something.
I think all the fans would just be in shock. Like
they
would be it'd be silent.
This isn't AEW. They plan to have a match.
Oh, we'll talk about that a little bit later, Man Jam.
Stop it, man.
No Bray Wyatt right now.
That Man Jam was actually he was at SmackDown with me.
Man Jam's awesome.
I was at the Raw at the Garden.
Ooh.
The one after Vince retired.
Mm-hmm.
I was kind of hoping. I bought tickets with the expectation that Vince was going to come out one last time since it was MSG.
I was at the best event this month.
He was at the event when Gargano returned.
That might have been the greatest return this year so far.
Yeah, I was there, so I'm happy.
Because no one knew.
It just came there were rumors, and then it just happened after a commercial break. Like, it took me a couple.
But there really wasn't even rumors for it so much. Like, there was rumors when they were in Cleveland.
Right.
And then nothing. And then AEW was in Cleveland the following week, and WWE pulls it off in Toronto just to ruin the hype for Cleveland for AEW.
But a lot of history for Gargano in Toronto.
No, I know. He went through that one in the promo he cut. So it made sense. But it just was so good, like how they did it. So let's go to one of the other two championship matches that are left. We'll go with the women's one. Liv Morgan versus Shayna Baszler. I don't see this match going long, honestly. And there is going to be some shenanigans because Liv is retaining.
No.
Liv is keeping his belt.
Nope.
Because they're going to want her to lose it. They're going to want her to lose it some other way. I just don't think it's time. Like, it's too much going on with her. You're seeing her all over the place on Twitter with all the different things. Like, they have a promo tomorrow. Like, they're doing something tomorrow with her going shopping. It's going to be on Twitter. So I think there's just too much focus to have her lose it. That's just my thought on it.
I'll go last on this one.
I'll let Megan go, and then I'll go.
It honestly feels like Shayna's gonna win it, and because after everything's been happening this past couple weeks, and then you throw Ronda into it, I can honestly see Shayna and Ronda, and then Ronda taking it from Shayna again. But I just see Shayna winning it. Liv, no,
See,
she's done.
the way that I'm thinking is that Shayna's going to go too far and is going to get DQ'd, and that's how she keeps the belt. She's not necessarily
I-
going to win, but I don't think she's going to lose.
I'm okay with Liv having the belt, but you're not gonna have Liv go back to back fighters that are legit fighters and retain. You can't. And Shayna deserves it to be a champion. She has worked her ass off. She had to work with Nia Jax for what, a year.
Ugh.
She had to. It's not even quite a dig either. That's just like she was willing to put herself through the gauntlet to get herself into this position. She has shown that she can work. Was great in NXT, and now that Triple H is in charge, you could assume that Shayna's NXT gimmick will come back, where she's a complete badass.
And what was it? It was WrestleMania, the pandemic era WrestleMania, where her and Becky put on a really good match together.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like it makes no sense to have Liv walk out. Like I don't mind Liv the champion; she deserved it too. But it makes no sense for Liv to walk out with the championship.
See, I think that she needs redemption after that match with Ronda, the way they made her win. Like something's gonna happen. I think she just gets a win here somehow, and then she loses it at Extreme Rules. Because I think it's gonna be a triple. I think it'll be turned into a triple threat with Shayna and Ronda.
So I will kind of weigh in here on this. I don't think Liv is losing her title on Saturday. I don't think she is, because the way I see it, Ronda Rousey's not in a match on Saturday. I How do I do this without spoiling SmackDown? They didn't change the match. I'm not going to say that. They didn't change anything about the match. It's still just Shayna versus Liv. I do see Ronda Rousey getting herself involved somehow. There was that little face-off that her and Shayna had at the top of the ramp a couple weeks back, where Shayna was like, "You can't just do that, you know. That's not how you get things done around here." Yada yada. They had that little face-off. I think we see a Liv Morgan who keeps lucking her way into wins and becomes delusional about the fact that she's winning and thinks that she's a dominant champion. I see that character development. I see Ronda versus Shayna feud without the title on the line in the meantime. And then I see Charlotte, unfortunately, taking the belt from Liv. And then I see that leading up to Ronda versus Charlotte at Royal Rumble. Ronda beats Charlotte again. Then we finally get to see Becky and Ronda at WrestleMania next year, one-on-one. That's where I'm hoping this leads.
That's a hell of a story being told.
Charlotte just needs to no.
As much as I don't care for it, the fact is Charlotte draws. She's one of the best workers in the business, and as much as we don't like her, she's going to
You
be.
gotta-
She doesn't need the belt though. She
No,
doesn't.
but
doesn't.
you know what's gonna happen is she's gonna be her dad of the women's division, 16 time.
And she's already at 14.
Well, yeah, but she's also said that she wants to wind down her career already too. So
Yeah, she probably wants to have kids.
don't blame her.
Didn't stop Becky from wrestling.
No.
What
But
what was that, Megan?
Oh, I agree that she wants to have kids.
And I mean, as much as I don't want to see Charlotte in the title picture, that's just how I see that happening.
Is she gonna be back right after this?
I don't know if she shows up on Saturday, but I bet she comes back soon to set it up. I believe that she should be right on SmackDown, give that SmackDown's women division some more star power, because they're lacking compared to Raw right now. And I believe that Charlotte takes it from Liv. And yeah, like I said,
But
that's where I think that's
See,
going.
that's like a whole thing because Charlotte is the one that caused Liv to change. Like
I don't know, man.
she caused
Maybe
Liv to go. She caused Liz to go away, and then we got Liv back with all the vignettes and everything. Like Charlotte was the last one to wrestle her before all that started.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like this would be like the complete arc if she beat Charlotte, and then and then loses to somebody else.
If the arc is that she loses to Charlotte or she beats Charlotte, I believe that it should be in the same way. It should be luck, because no one conceivably believes that Charlotte would lose to Liv. I think it's luck again, if that's what happens. And then build to Ronda eventually taking it from her. Because Ronda is over as hell with the audience and at every. Like,
As
she's
long-
getting.
As long as Ronda can do what she wants and talk
Yeah.
the way she wants and not be scripted, she'll be money.
And since Triple H took over, Ronda has been much better. I will say that. I will admit that freely.
When she came out with that bag of money in that promo, like it was short, it was to the point, and it was like boom. And then that little snippet you were talking about with her and Shane on the top of the stage, like
Mhm.
that was instant character development for Shayna, because it changed how Shayna thought. It made her go back to the way she was.
Oh yeah, and so without spoiling anything, tomorrow's SmackDown, Ronda has what I personally believe to be the strongest segment she's had since she's come back with Adam Pearce. It is a fantastic segment. I can't wait to see it on TV. I'm not gonna give anything more away about it though.
Yeah, that's like the deciding thing I was reading. No, like I was reading like that, like the preview said that there was a deciding factor for Shayna. Like it was like
Oh, I
a
did this because Shadow put me off.
there was like a decision made between her and Pierce. So
And it's a fantastic segment. Like, like sitting there, I got goosebumps from it. It was that good.
So I'm going Shayna.
Liv.
Liv.
Shayna.
All right,
2 and
two
2.
Okay.
Listen,
Put down.
I love. It's hard to predict now.
No,
Yeah.
WWE used to be so predictable. Like you used to be able to, you always wanted to pick the opposite just because you wanted to be different. Now it's like you're picking with what you actually think is going to happen because it actually might happen. Like,
Right.
and then we have the main event.
I think Megan should start on this one.
But yeah,
She's like-
this is Megan's bread.
Megan's
and
territory.
butter. Yeah, bring it up. We know who you're bringing up. Come on now.
I don't want to say who I think is gonna win because I know it's gonna shock the hell out of you guys.
No.
But I don't even want to say it.
I guess you could say Megan has broken dreams.
Oh,
Not wrong. Like after everything that's been happening the past couple of weeks with Drew, and then the little hints about broken dreams, like I do want that to happen. I do want broken dreams.
Oh, it's coming.
The
So-
thing
Somebody
about it
clip this.
is
Put it on
that there have been so many rumors, and my sources have been telling me that like there are talks backstage about Roman losing a title, and
There's many different outcomes that could be possible this weekend with this.
right.
I am going, like, I'm rooting for Roman, but I honestly see Drew taking one title from Roman. Just one.
Mhm.
I don't see him taking both.
It'll be weird on how they book it, but so like something that I said was Austin Theory cashes in and tries to pull a Seth Rollins and ends up getting pinned by Drew McIntyre. And that keeps Roman from losing his streak of getting, not being
just-
pinned in almost 3 years.
You just took
Yeah.
you just took my way.
That's fair. That's fair.
Nope. Because Roman's streak right now is at 991 days.
Yeah.
Yep.
I don't see
The
a
la-
reason why they should. Yeah, go ahead.
The last time he was pinned was December 15th of 2019
By Baron Corbin,
by
right?
by Baron Corbin
Yep.
at Extreme Rules
Yep.
or TLC. Sorry, it was TLC pay-per-view.
So like,
Which is also Corbin's last pay-per-view win.
aw.
Is it
Yeah.
interesting?
That's funny. So like with that match, I think the build up to it has been incredible. Drew actually feels like somebody who should beat him, and win the titles or one of them even. I think it's time for that change. I think the iron is hot. Drew is over as he's ever been, and it's going to be in front of one of the rowdiest crowds that we've probably ever seen. And I don't see a reason how you let Drew walk out without at least one championship on his shoulder after that match. I just don't see that.
I mean,
I'm personally excited just to watch these two bang it out.
Oh yeah, and like I'm a huge Roman supporter. I've loved Roman Reigns from the get go, and I've hated his booking at times. This is the best thing he's ever done. This reign has been the best thing he's ever done. And just when we thought he was getting stale, the last 2-3 months he's kicked it right back up.
Yeah.
And I think it's time to strike while the iron's hot. I think Roman should kind of fade back into a Brock Lesnar type role where he's that big final boss. Everyone wins.
I don't think it hurts Roman to like drop one. Like, there's a lot of sources going around saying there's the decision for the belts will be made midday Saturday in the UK midday.
yeah, like, and they're probably going to announce it on like Twitter. Like, it's going to be
Yeah,
like
like
a Twitter
it-
announcement. Like, it's just so. First things first. I believe Roman is coming out first,
Without a doubt.
and then Drew is going to have the entrance of all entrances at this show. It's going to
Like-
be longer than Roman's normal entrance. Like, we're getting Broken Dreams back.
Are we getting
Yep.
Taker-esque length?
Yes, it's supposed to be like over the top. Like, Drew deserves this, to give everybody the feeling that he's going to win. And the way he's going to win is probably what Nate had said. You're going to have Theory cash in. It's going to turn into a triple threat, but you can only cash it in for one of the belts. That's how they're going to do it, or that's one of the stipulations. Like, I think they're going to say that the contract is only for one of the two belts.
That's what I was going to say. It doesn't
The belt-
specify.
Oh, yeah.
The contract, it doesn't specify that it's a unification title shot. It's
No,
a
it's a championship title
shot.
shot, so you need to pick which belt it's for. And it's going to be for the WWE Championship. Because that's the one that Roman has held for the least amount of time.
Yes.
And it's going to turn into a triple threat. Drew's going to claim more Theory, win, and Roman's going to be protected, and Drew's getting his moment. And everybody will go home happy.
So the confusion to this match will be the match will start out for both belts, but because Theory comes in, it becomes a one title match.
Yep.
And so my one question is how do they explain that? It seems like it almost be a cop out at this point if that's how they went about explaining it.
Well, because
And I understand that they did book themselves into a corner with the unification, but
the way that they
Well-
do it is you say, like, the contract states it's for a championship. For a championship title match. Not two championships as the belt's unified.
And I still ride on and die on this hill. When they introduce the Usos, it's the unified, undisputed tag team champions. When they introduce Roman, it's the WWE and Universal champion. There's no undisputed anything in that.
Thank you for the sub, Harlem. Appreciate it.
and so I think now that I'm thinking about it, they could do something as simple as Theory comes out, cashes in, and the announcer says Austin Theory is cashing in for the WWE Championship. Just as simple as that.
Right.
Yeah.
That could be it.
And that's a cop out to let Reigns retain his reign
As
And
well
as
as-
Universal.
And give Drew his moment.
and then the lights are going to go out.
And Fiend.
Everyone really thinks that's happening
Oh,
this
yeah.
Saturday.
Oh,
I
yeah.
don't-
It is happening.
So
it's
I-
happening, but it might not happen in the Roman part.
Well, that
I
is
saw-
that is true, but it would make sense because the last time he was on SmackDown, you had that look from Alexa Bliss to Roman.
Thanks, Ford.
And also that the thing that I saw was Bray Wyatt was gonna try to come back with like a Three Faces of Bray Wyatt gimmick, basically.
Yep.
He wants to do like his old Wyatt family swamp Bray Wyatt, and then
The
tie
Cultivated
that in,
Bray.
and tie that in with the Fiend and the Fiend and the Firefly Funhouse Bray.
I think the Fiend Firefly is going to be one, and I think he's going to introduce a new one
Oh, really?
Wyndham 6.
because he's Wyatt 6 on
Or
Twitter
yeah, Wyatt Six,
for his
excuse me.
the sixth iteration of Bray Wyatt,
Huh.
because he's had 5 different ones so far.
So we've got the Fiend, Firefly Funhouse, we got Swamp Bray Wyatt, we've got Husky Harris. What
Mhm.
other one am I missing?
What was the other one? The Muscle Man Bray.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, okay, yep.
So,
Or
Or
he-
think about that for a
so he's
second.
had 5 so far,
So
and then you'll have
this would be his
Wyatt
sixth.
6. This will be the 6th iteration of Wyatt.
Right, and with the Broken Dreams thing for Drew McIntyre, I would see them doing like a kind of like what they did with the Brood with Edge last year against Seth Rollins. Have him walk out for the first little part, 2 Broken Dreams, have the lights go down, and then have his regular music play after that.
No,
I don't think
no.
so.
Or reverse
It's
it.
full Broken Dreams. Full.
Really?
No. I think
They've
me
been
and Megan
playing
have
it all over Twitter. He's been putting it in all the vignettes. It's coming
Okay.
back.
But
Yeah.
I think me and Megan have the same idea here. Is he's gonna come out to Drew's theme currently, and he's gonna stop maybe the sword into whatever the hell he's gonna do it in, and then boom, Broken Dream starts playing.
If he does that, then he needs to keep Broken Dreams. Like, I
Right,
don't want
and
him
that's-
to
And
have
that's
it be a
not
one.
but it's a one-time thing. Like, that's the whole thing of it. So that's
I
why I
think
don't
it's going
think
to be a one-time thing.
that's
Just
why it would be like that.
I don't
The
think it'll
pro-
be a one time.
The problem is they have to pay for it then. The copyright
I don't
for
think
it.
it. But Triple H is in charge.
Yeah, I know, but I feel
He's
that
going. He's
I don't-
giving Ciampa back his at some point. It's
No.
coming.
his theme now is a banger. He doesn't need the one back in NXT.
Agree to disagree.
I don't know. A lot of people like the newer one now that it's grown on them.
Yeah, a lot of people like the new NXT too, and ugh.
Yeah, 2.0 is actually pretty good. You just got to give it a chance to get away and stop looking at the colors, because that's what scared a lot of people away.
I'm not worried about the colors. I'm worried about the rosters.
Well, Shawn Michaels' interview about that was the perfect way to explain it. Basically, NXT diverted away from its original purpose. And the fact of the matter is, as much as we liked Black and Gold, it did. It diverted away from NXT's original purpose, which was development.
Developmental.
And now it's back to developmental, so we can't put it on the same pedestal that we put Black and Gold NXT on. We have to look at it from a different perspective. And it's difficult for me sometimes, too. I admit that. But
So-
I don't watch NXT all that often.
Are you saying that NXT or Black and Gold would be NXT's Attitude Era?
I mean,
Yes.
if you want to be that black and white about it, yeah, theoretically speaking.
Like that's just a way to simplify it. Yeah, that's how you would compare.
Yeah. Except now except it's kind of the opposite, wherein we have better wrestling now than we did in the Attitude Era, but they kind of switched it in NXT 2.0.
You know what though? Going to the Black and Gold, thinking about it a little bit more in depthly, maybe that was Vince's way to see what Triple H could do in the event that he does step down.
Could be.
Give him whoever he wants. Let him build the way he wants, and watch what he does with the star power he brought in.
Right.
And Black and Gold is probably going to go back. Black and Gold will go down in history as probably one of the best branded wrestling.
And like, how many guys from Black and Gold are still on the main roster making because Vince is still the owner,
Yeah,
putting money in Vince's pockets. Kevin Owens, Finn Balor, Shinsuke Nakamura, Damian Priest, like
Sami Zayn.
Sami Zayn.
Shinsuke needs to go back
Seth
to Shinsuke.
Rollins.
Beth.
Shinsuke needs to
Rollins.
go back to Shinsuke. That's all I'm saying.
I agree.
We need to have that
Seth.
music hit. I don't need Pat dancing anymore, even though it is hilarious as hell. I need the guitar coming back and the crowd going nuts for Shinsuke.
You have Seth, Becky, Charlotte, Bailey. I mean, once
If Sasha comes back.
Hey, Shinsuke does have a match against Corbin tomorrow night on SmackDown, and the crowd popped really big for him, and they sang his theme song, so that's a good step in the right direction.
That's what it definitely is. It's coming back. Like, you could see it. Speaking of him, though, has there been any rumblings and rumors about his partner? Whatever happened to Rick Boogs?
I haven't heard.
we
I know.
missed this. We missed this in the conversation, but can we appreciate the fact that the Intercontinental Championship is finally being presented again on a
Well, they both. Well,
pay-per-view.
that is true. It has been a very long time for the IC belt to be defended.
WrestleMania last year.
Last year, WrestleMania. Yep, year and a half.
Crazy.
That's embarrassing.
Well, that just
Well,
shows
you
how
gotta-
much Vince didn't care about the mid card belts.
You also haven't had a champion really storyline for them to go into the premium live events either.
Right, and think about how many Hall of Famers used the Intercontinental title as a stepping stool to get to bigger and better things. Shawn Michaels, Razor Ramon, Bret Hart, Randy Savage, Ultimate Warrior. I mean, I could go on forever.
Mm-hmm. And there are rumors that some of the belts are getting overhauls.
Good.
Overalls? What do you mean overalls?
Overhauls.
I mean, the IC title needs it more than any other belt does. But
Really? I like
Yeah,
that.
I don't like-
I like that belt.
I do not like the look of that belt.
I think it's very bland.
I don't know.
it
It's
reminds
like the
me-
one that's the most detailed out of them all, too.
They tried too hard to be a UFC belt looking thing, and it just went sideways real quick.
The tag titles have had those Spartan heads for like 15 years now.
Well, they've had, according to the Belt Dan guy, the one that broke the news of the U.S. Championship belt getting redone a couple years back, they've had tag belts sitting in storage since 2019 ready to be used.
Oh, Jesus.
So that's because they were made the same time that the U.S. Championship belt was.
I like the new U.S. title belt.
I do.
Actually.
The only thing I wish that they did different was put blue behind the stars.
Yeah.
That would
All
be
right.
the only difference I would do on that belt.
Megan, give us a rundown of your thoughts of the show quick, and then give us a rating.
I think the show is going to go really good. I could see it going about maybe 4.5 hours.
Jeez.
With 6
I mean-
matches?
Yeah, like I think that they're all going to be like not short, but like a good 30 minutes or so.
That means 2.5. That means 3
Second.
hours of wrestling. That's
I'm
insane
here
for
for it.
that's insane for WWE. I love it.
Well, look who's in charge now.
No, I know.
Exactly.
I mean, we had 120. We had over 2 hours of Raw wrestling the one week.
So I bet we get some kind of introductory promo from somebody. Maybe it's Steph and Triple H. Maybe it's somebody else. I don't know. But I bet we get a nice intro promo that takes up 10, 15 minutes.
Mhm.
And I bet we get 1 or 2 promos scattered throughout the show, too.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Time. But Megan, what do you think is going to be the best match?
Honestly, I think it's going to be a toss-up of Seth and Riddle and Drew and Roman.
I agree.
I like those answers. I think
Oh,
Seth and Riddle has the emotion behind it, the real, like the heat that you believe is real from what we've seen come across on TV.
Oh, that's real.
So I bet it's like a Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn thing where they get in the ring. The second one of the second person gets in the ring, they're going at it. Bell rings, they're going at. Crowd is electric. That one might start the show actually.
Nope.
No, it's going
You
to be
don't
the
think
IC
so?
belt. It's going to be Sheamus
That's
versus
probably
Gunther.
that's not a bad thing either.
I think that's
I
going to
mean,
open the show, and it could steal the night.
I do think if we're going towards pure wrestling, I bet Seth and Riddle wins as far as best match. But if we're going for storytelling, I guess not storytelling, but big moment, big fight feel, great moment to cap off the show, Drew and Roman is going to be that, if Drew wins.
Yeah, it's everybody's talking about it. That's how you feel. Like it's just like you feel that this match is like the match that matters the most out of like the entire weekend.
Ford just said in the chat that the vignette between Drew and Roman is going to be as long as the Mox and Punk match.
It's only 3 minutes, man. The
So,
Daniel
Megan-
Bryan WrestleMania 30 was like 6 minutes.
I mean, you had that a week ago on Dynamite. You already had that squash match.
God,
I think that's what he was referring to. So Megan, out of 10, what would you give the pay-per-view? Obviously beforehand, we all know that nobody knows what's happening. But what would you think is going to give it?
Solid 9 out of 10.
All right. Nate, what's your rundown of the show and then your rating?
So, rundown of the show, I think they've done an excellent job building pretty much everything on the card. Even Liv and Shayna has had decent build up to it. Lots of good storytelling to be told. Lots of good moments that we could potentially see. Again, I think Seth and Riddle, with the pure emotion behind their match, is going to be the barn burner, the show stealer. I bet we see some crazy spots, some crowd pleasing things, And I say expectations are really high right now, especially now that Triple H, because this is the first true show Triple H has taken over for. I mean, there was SummerSlam, yeah, but that was still last minute. This
Right.
he's had time to build for. I believe this show is going to be a 9 out of 10 as well. And I think for the first time since AEW's inception, more people are going to be talking about this show than AEW's pay-per-view when they air on the same weekend like this.
There you go. And I want to touch on something you said there somewhere in your breakdown. I heard that Matt Riddle is a real crowd pleaser. So. But I'm gonna go on a limb. This card is built as strong as it can get for a non-WrestleMania card,
Mm-hmm.
and it's WrestleMania 2.0 this year,
Oh,
in my opinion, just with the build and everything alone. I'm gonna give it a 9.5, and I'll give it a 10 if my man Bray comes back. It'll be a 10 out of 10 for me if Bray comes back.
No matter what else happens. Like
Shadow will probably cry.
I will. I want to be like Megan crying when Roman loses.
You know,
At least it's not to Brock.
She
right?
looked like she was ready to cry talking about it tonight. We're talking about Drew possibly winning.
yes, because like I'm always saying, "Oh, Roman's gonna win, Roman," and then I said Drew, and it hurt me to say it.
He said like vinegar.
Man Jam wants to know before we get into this, Scouts, what if Brock comes back, Megan? Her eyes just widened.
Brock Lesnar comes back, I am going to punch my computer and I'm shutting my phone off.
R.I.P. to that computer.
I think that this pay-per-view has the potential to be the best one of the year for WWE. It is,
And that's saying something.
it's 6 matches, and while all the other pay-per-views have delivered, I think this one over-delivers.
Mm-hmm.
And I just feel that it's going to be 9.5 out of 10. Obviously, if Bray comes back, because the hype has been real, it's an instant 10 for me as well. I think you're going to have Drew and Roman as the best match, with a close second of Gunther versus Sheamus. And then you'll have Riddle versus Rollins right behind it. I think the worst match of the night that we possibly have is going to be the women's match.
Yeah.
And that's the only women's match on the card. Like,
There's 2.
To steal a phrase from Mr. Tesko Straight Shoot,
we have
it's going to be a real
the 6-man.
meat slapper. It's going to be a real meat slapper.
Yeah, that's the tribute to Vince match.
Or Riddle, depending how you want to go about it.
Oh, Shadow.
Hey, I'm here for it, all right?
Oh, man. Harlem, I don't think Wade Barrett's going to be involved because he does have Worlds Collide the next day. And that would be a little bit of an issue with the time difference. But I do expect Wade Barrett to be at the Rumble and in the Rumble next year.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I hope he comes back as Bad News Barrett.
Yes.
I'm expecting that to happen. He did just re-sign a new deal with them, so I'm sure that was worked into there where he can wrestle a little bit.
I'm afraid I've got some bad news.
That was one of the best gimmicks ever, and the
When he
crowd
when he was
loved
up
it.
when he was up on the
Oh, yeah,
podium.
they're 15 feet high. Can I have some decorum, please?
Oh
I
man,
love it.
there was so many good things back then, and then there was so many bad things as well. Stuff that you don't want to remember of what happened on some of those episodes.
Well, Scales, now we need your rating after your breakdown of the show.
Sure.
I give it. It's going to be a 9.5. Like I said, if Bray does come back, it will instantly be a 10. Yeah, Fury's going to be in the crowd already. He already announced today that he has a front row seat for the show.
Mhm.
So
Maybe
we've
Braun
covered the
can they fight?
we've covered the predictions. Now I would like maybe each one of us to give up a conspiracy, or not a conspiracy theory, but a theory that might happen on Saturday. Doesn't have to be Bray, doesn't have to be Fury, Braun. Just something you think that's going to happen that's going to change the course.
Well, Braun's showing up on Monday. That's already been announced.
But that might be what they want you to think.
Okay with Braun Strowman coming back. I don't know why everyone's so upset about it.
I'd be okay if he was part of the Wyatt family, and then we got Eric Rowan and Bo Dallas as well.
Bo Dallas. I think Bo
Kinda
Dallas
bully.
is him being done with wrestling, though.
Yeah, unfortunately, because he actually had a pretty good gimmick in NXT with the Bo leave.
His name is Taylor, isn't it? Isn't that his real name?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he could be Taylor Wyatt or something like that. Bo Dallas just doesn't fit.
I mean, he can come back as an IRS gimmick, and I'd still put him over.
I love Bo Dallas, dude.
He's good. He's a strong worker.
Excellent worker.
Man Jam, no one misses Charlotte Flair. No one.
Was it?
I mean,
Bo
hey,
Dallas
hold on.
beat
Man Jam
Neville
does.
in that ladder match in NXT that was a banger.
He was an NXT champion at one point.
He
He
was.
was. He lost to Adrian Neville.
Ah. Pack.
Yep. And I want to say they had a ladder match at one of the takeovers, and it was a freaking banger.
And then Pack got mad that he had to lose the Cruiserweight title to Enzo and left. Like the baby.
But
he is.
anyways, theories. Yes. Megan, what theory?
Sasha and Naomi return during the women's first women's match.
The
three-on-two.
trios match.
The trios, yeah.
Do they show up with a third person?
Who do you
Yeah.
bring in though?
Paige.
That's the question.
Ooh,
Not
I
Paige.
think it could be Paige or
Tegan.
I mean, to be fair, Sasha's the one that broke Paige's neck.
Becky. Yeah. Becky's too soon to return, but she
You
could
have
be.
the opportunity to do it to a hometown person. You have Paige and Tegan.
Tegan Knox.
Both right there. Yeah. Paige or Tegan.
Tegan Knox might actually be the one that does. I don't know if she fits with Sasha and Naomi, but
Yeah, but she goes against Dakota.
that's true. I don't know. I like that. If Sasha and Naomi show up, I believe they should have a third person with them also. Or maybe like Bliss turns on Asuka and Bianca and joins them. Maybe Bliss as a heel would be awesome. Again, please.
Or Bianca turns and joins them.
Here's a swerve. Naomi turns on Sasha. Sasha links up with Control. Naomi goes with Bianca and them 4-on-4.
And there's a Survivor Series match right there.
If Naomi is going to break away from Sasha, she's going to the Bloodline.
But that would be the perfect heel turn. To turn on Sasha.
I guess technically Sasha would be turning on Naomi because Sasha would be going with the heel group.
But
Right.
you know what I'm saying? Like, it would be an ultimate heel move it would be a heel move, not a heel persona, but a heel move of Naomi to do that.
Right.
I
And
mean-
we haven't seen Naomi as a heel since she was a Funkadactyl, pretty much.
She was a fossil then.
Well,
I don't know.
Oh.
Go ahead,
if
Megan.
Sasha does go to Control, that would make a lot of sense because you have Bailey and Sasha, but then again, you also have to think about the tension that they have because they always are friends, and then they're enemies, friends, enemies. They like
They're
switch
the
up.
they're the Triple H Shawn Michaels of the women's division.
Yes.
Absolutely.
So, with my conspiracy theory prediction, I do believe that we get Bray Wyatt back. I think that would be an excellent way to end the show. Have him target Roman Reigns for the Universal title, since that's exactly what Roman Reigns did to him. I also believe either Charlotte and Ronda, or Charlotte or Ronda. So either one of them or both of them gets involved with Liv and Shayna somehow, and causes a ruckus.
Causes a ruckus.
Man Jam.
No,
Karrion Kross has not even traveled to the UK.
Yeah, he didn't go to the UK. Just like the Usos are not at the UK.
Or Paul Heyman.
Or Heyman. Because Heyman tweeted... Yeah, I saw what you were just thinking. Because that's part of what I was thinking.
I just made that like the dots, just the light bulb went off. But
so Heyman said that Roman is alone. What's another word for alone?
Don't say solo.
He's going solo, and Solo Sikoa shows up.
Solo Sikoa does not need to show up and get in the main event picture like that.
It needs to prove himself to the Bloodline.
Speaking of Bloodline, and this one's a far
he's one of the brothers. He needs to prove that he's worthy of being in the group.
I guess
because he is getting ready for call. He's on his way up. He's going to be calling up, and if none of the things that we talked about before happen, and he helps Roman keep both belts, what better way to prove yourself?
I'm also willing to go on a limb, and this is a far-fetched theory at this point, but what if The Rock's music hit just to throw off Roman?
And he doesn't even show up, just his music.
No Rock, just the music.
Pulls a Shawn Michaels in Montreal, where he made Brett's music hit and nothing.
Like, wouldn't that be?
Sammy won't go either.
Why wouldn't Sammy go?
I don't think he's in the UK.
It's not Saudi Arabia, so Sammy's fine with going there.
Right. Well, actually, I think Sammy's not allowed to go to Saudi Arabia from people who live in Saudi.
Because he's Syrian.
Yes.
Right.
I don't think he'd want to anyways.
He wouldn't. Right. He wouldn't want to go anyway, but he can't.
So there might have been a little Easter egg, and I'm not quite sure. I know Megan probably caught it, but at the end of last SmackDown, Roman said, he doesn't say the normal, nobody can take it from me, blah, blah, blah. He said, someone take it from me.
I want someone to take it from me, yep.
Which he hasn't said before.
Right. And how many people... So, Megan, do you know what happens on SmackDown?
I saw a video on TikTok. It was on my For You page that someone was at SmackDown, and then they showed a little bit of Roman's 2-year celebration anniversary thing, so I know what happened.
Okay. Yeah, it's hard to really
It must be eating you alive that you know the whole stacked card for this week, and you can't say anything.
I do want to say this. This isn't a spoiler. This is just, something to look forward to.
It's not a prediction. It's a spoiler.
So, like, the 2-year celebration takes a fucking curve that I didn't even see coming. The best thing about tomorrow night's episode of SmackDown, though, is the Viking Rules match between the New Day and the Viking Raiders. In the arena, they went 45 fucking minutes. I don't know if that's how it's going to go on TV, but they went 45 minutes in the arena.
I would be okay if they televised that for 45, considering half the roster is gone.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, it was taped, so we know half the roster is not gone.
Oh, the roster was cut back last Friday already. They were already on their way, half of them.
But TV wise, if you're doing it Friday night and then Saturday,
right,
it makes sense to have one match go half the show.
Right, it makes sense to have the people that are not, but Roman's on it, so yeah, that does kind of ruin that.
But Roman's starts it from what I've heard.
Mm-mm.
But
So
I can't spoil it.
this weekend is probably one of the best weekends in wrestling in recent times. You have Clash on Saturday at 1 p.m. You
Mhm.
have Worlds Collide on Sunday at 4 p.m. And then you have All Out starting at 7 p.m. on Sunday.
It'll
Oh,
go
they-
till 3 p.m. Monday.
And then because it's a holiday, so All Out thinks they can go 8 hours. It'll go to 3 a.m. on Monday morning.
God.
Well, there's
I'm not-
so
I don't know if I want to buy into that or not, but
Yeah, I get it.
I am hyped. I am hyped for all three of them. I don't know if I'm gonna watch All Out, just because
If someone buys it, says, "Do you want to come watch All Out?" I'll be like, "Sure."
I don't feel like spending $60 for a 5-hour
sub-
pay-per-view that I only really care about 3 matches.
Right.
Anybody have any thoughts about World Collide? Like, we don't have to predict anything because that card is wide open.
Yeah. Give me. I'm just gonna say I want Blair Davenport to win. I want her to take both of those titles, unify them, and bring us Mandy and Toxic Attraction, please.
Well, they are supposed to come up,
That injury was kayfabe so that they could go to Worlds Collide.
Right.
which is stupid because they were supposed to win.
Mm-hmm.
They were supposed to win the titles, and we wouldn't have had this issue with Raquel and Aaliyah.
Yep.
But see, with that though, I feel like there's a squash coming, which is fine.
I think the long game is to give the titles to Dakota and Io anyways, and they will have
Right.
a long run with them.
Megan, did you have any thoughts on Worlds Collide?
Nope.
I don't know. I don't think you watch much of NXT, do you?
I am hyped
I work a lot, so.
for Ricochet and Carmelo Hayes.
Are you waking up? Oh, I'm excited for anything Carmelo Hayes does. That dude is a future world champion. He's a stud.
And going against Ricochet, oh man, that's going to be a
That's
banger.
going to be a crazy ass match.
Now, do we see Ricochet be more predominant on NXT now, or is it just a one-off? We needed a guy for Carmelo.
I think it's a one-off because Triple H values Ricochet too much.
Fair, as you've seen in recent weeks with Ricochet actually getting TV time.
In response to that, I think Triple H values all three brands together.
Which is nice, which you don't see very often.
And I feel that we are going to see more continuity between the three of them.
I wouldn't be opposed to that. But the chat's going off with the Braun Breaker Tyler Bate match. I think that'll be.
I just didn't like how they did that with spoiling Tyler Bate winning the tournament.
I think it. Well, at first I didn't, because it makes sense.
It didn't happen till today.
Right.
Right, but it also makes sense with the fact that the following announcement after Heatwave was they're shutting down the UK and opening up Europe. So it makes sense in that sense. It sucks, but it is what it is.
Yeah. I love that WWE is going to have a team, a roster of superstars to tour all of Europe on a regular basis, though. I love that.
I'm excited to see the European title back.
Mm-hmm.
That's supposed to be the main title too.
All right.
But
so everybody has our predictions now for Clash. I think it's going to be a great banger of a show.
Do we cover All Out at all? Do we want to tackle that maybe a little?
Yeah, we could cover All Out, but I think we're going to break this pod now, and then we'll cover All Out as a separate pod in a second.
That works.
Yeah, just give me.
Take a little 5-10 minute break.
Yeah, give us a 5 reset.
I like that idea.
So, if you guys want to sit around or want to come back and join us when we do the All Out pod, we would appreciate it. We will be back shortly. I'm just going to stop the stream. This way we have the separation and people can see everything. And then we'll come back and we'll get all your thoughts on the All Out take that we have.
Thanks, guys.
We'll see you guys again shortly.